Hello everyone and welcome back to the Honeybee Stamps YouTube channel. Today I'm excited to bring you day one of sneak peeks at our spring release, available at honeybeestamps.com on February the 22nd. The first thing I have to share with you today is a brand new buzzword, and this is smile. As with all of the buzzwords in our collection, it has a beautiful large scripty word stamp along with lots of little mix and match sub-sentiments. I'm going to hold these up so you can get a closer look. But we have sentiments like "You make me smile," "I love your smile," "Smile," a hug and a beautiful smile, sending you a big smile, and lots more. There's also a coordinating die set. There are 3 dies in this set. There is the large and beautiful scripty word, a basic shadow, and then a large shadow that has the pierced edge. So I'm going to hold these up close. You can see there, you can use these all stacked together to create a beautiful dimensional sentiment, or you can use those by themselves. You can stamp onto those shadow pieces. So lots of options with our buzzword and their coordinating dies. Here Becky has used the Smile die cut along with one of those sub-sentiments to create a beautiful sentiment, "You always make me smile," and she's paired that with our spring mice, which I'll show you in just a few minutes. New in our popular Bitty buzzword collection, we have the Bloom set. So we have words like bloom, home, smile, you, grow, and kind. And then of course there are lots of mix and match sub-sentiments to go along with those larger scripty words. Now there's also a coordinating die set with this one that includes the scripty word and a basic shadow for each one. Now I'm going to hold up the smile buzzword that I showed you just a minute ago to show you the size difference between our classic buzzword there on the right and then the bitty buzzword there to the left. So that just gives you an idea of the size difference for the front of your cards. Now, as I mentioned earlier, there is a coordinating die set, and each one of those scripty words has a die and then a basic shadow. Now, here is the Smile original buzzword. You can see that's a 3-piece set, and you can see the size difference if I hold those up there, where you're going to get the 3 pieces in that die set, and then just the scripty word and the shadow for the bitty buzzwords. Now, here's a beautiful card from design team member Becky. She's used 4 of the bitty buzzword dies and paired those with some of the sub-sentiments to make a really creative card. Now here are those super adorable sweet spring mice. This is the stamp and coordinating die set. You can see all of those sweet little mice. One has a strawberry, there's ones with daisies or a 4-leaf clover, one that is blowing a dandelion, one that has a bucket of flowers, a little bouquet, and then another that's peeking right out of the little pot there. There's also a lot of little accessories like extra flowers, strawberries. There's also some sentiments, "miss you" and "friend" and "hello" and "hi." And then there's also the awesome coordinating die set that's going to cut out every one of those pieces in the spring mice stamp set, along with all the little extras and the sentiments. Here Bobby has shared an amazing card with the sweet spring mice. It almost looks like they're up on a little picnic table. You can see the one peeking out of the little pot with their little pile of strawberries, and she's mixed that with the Smile buzzword stamp and coordinating die set. Next is our Little Birdies stamps and dies, and this set is jam-packed with the sweetest little birdies and all different styles of birdhouses. So there's a little mushroom birdhouse, a little barn, one that kind of looks like a little schoolhouse almost. There's the one that has a little flower opening. They're so cute. There's little extras in this set like bees and flowers and eggs and nests. There's a couple of sentiments. A little birdie told me it's your birthday, and "hi, tweetheart." There's a coordinating die set that includes a die for every one of those little birdies along with their houses and the sentiments. Here Keiko has made a beautiful rainbow card. I love her lineup of little birdhouses and all the colorful little birdies paired with the "hi, tweetheart" sentiment. And here Keiko has designed a surprise box. You can see that sweet little mouse, the little birdies perched around, little flowers and butterflies, and I just love the springy happiness of this beautiful surprise box. Now next is our add-on to our Market Cart die set, and this is the Farm Fresh add-on set. So this is our original Market Cart die set. You can see the die set there to the left, and then what it looks like when it's built there to the right. Now this new Market Fresh add-on set is an add-on to make a cute little flower cart or a lemonade stand. So there is a wood grained or more little rustic roof, along with a little skirt that goes around the side of your cart. There's a little stand for your pitchers of lemonades and little mason jars. There's lights and a pennant banner. There's also a sign that you can stamp some of these squeeze the day sentiments on. So there's some stamps that say lemonade 10 cents or flowers for sale. There's also some great sentiments like enjoy your day or easy peasy, lemon squeezy, lots of different things to mix and match, whether you want it to be a floral cart or a lemonade stand. There's also a coordinating die set that goes along with the Squeeze the Day sentiment set. So it makes it easy to stamp your sentiments, die cut those out, and then add those anywhere to any type of card, add them onto your market cart. And here is a beautiful market cart designed by Carol. And you can see she's made a little farm fresh flower cart, and she's used those Squeeze the Day sentiments and their coordinating dies there with Enjoy Your Day. Now here Becky has used the Farm Fresh Market add-on to create a lemonade stand. She's also paired that with the Squeeze the Day sentiments. You can see that stamp and die cut there on the roof of her little stand. Okay, so now I am going to create a card with some of today's products, and this is the Little Birdies stamp set. And I am going to use this new stamp set along with some of our older products, and I'll tell you about that as we go along. But I'm just picking out my birds and my little birdhouse, and I like to hold my stamp set. You can see right through it onto the little birdhouse that I've chosen. And I'm trying to decide which of those cute little birdies are going to look cute, kind of standing here and there on the little birdhouse that I've chosen. So once I get everything picked out, I'm going to close the door on my MISTI and pick up those stamps, and I am going to stamp these with my Be Creative Intense Black ink. And so I'm going to give that a good little stamping. I'm going to use my pressure tool, my Honeybee Stamps pressure tool, to make sure I get a good impression, and on the second go around using that pressure tool, it came out perfectly. Now, anytime I stamp, and especially when I'm going to Copic color, which I'm going to do today, I always heat set the ink because I don't want to smear that black ink when I use my alcohol markers. So I always use my heat tool and really set that ink. Now I've zoomed in a little bit, and I am coloring my little birdies blue, like little bluebirds. I have a whole kind of color scheme going on here. There to the bottom left, you can see some paper that I'm kind of using as a background. And so I'm kind of having everything and all my colors kind of blend together. Now I first colored the little house gray, the birdhouse. It doesn't stay gray, and oops, I left this in here so you can see that I had an oopsie with my Copic marker. It bled onto the little wing of my bird, and I'm just going to leave it and fix it. So I just want to show that, we all make mistakes and all have whoopsie moments on our cards. So I just left this in here, and I'm going to go over it, and I'm going to smooth out that little drop that got on there. But one little tip, when you have a drip like that, kind of clean up the excess in the tip of your marker, and I kind of rolled it around on my cardstock there. And then also, if you'll remove the lid to the other end, you can see my little wedge tipped end kind of sticking up there. If you'll remove that, it draws the ink back up, and so it won't puddle and drip down um, while you're using it like that. Okay, so now that we had that out of the way, I went ahead and went in with my darker color on both birds, but this is the lightest shade. So I'm going back in and I'm going to use that lightest shade to kind of help fade out the areas to where that big circle where that drip happened, it kind of blends it out and fades it out. And then in the end, you're not going to be able to see where that drip got onto my cute little bird. I was able to save this. Sometimes you can't save your creations if, you know, if it's too much of a dark color or if it drips off of the edge, you can't save it, but this time I was able to save it, and so I just left it in the video. Okay, so now I'm going to use the coordinating dies and cut out all of those cute little birds as well as the birdhouse there to the right. You can see it's going to look much better with the color scheme, and the little stand that we have there. So I'm going to use some Easy C tape or highlighter tape to tape down my coordinating dies, make sure everything is lined up. You can see I'm really taking my time there to make sure that everything's lined up nicely, and then taping those down. And I am going to trim out each one of these little pieces and run those through my little tiny die machine that is a perfect fit on my desk. You can see this is my little die machine here. All you do is lay and line up your dies, tape them down, and then use the plates in the correct sandwich and run that through, and then you're good to go. You have your cute little die cuts all ready to go. So I'm going to get my plate set up again, and the little house and the little stand that the birdhouse sits on. And again, I'm just going to run that right through that die machine and cut out those cute little pieces. And now everything is ready to pop out of there, and remove the tape and remove the dies. And then it's ready to adhere to my card. Okay, so another new feature that I enjoy and I think you guys are really going to love is the backer sheets of paper that the dies come on when you get them in the packaging. They now have outlines that show you exactly where your dies go. So I'm just going to place everything right back down onto its outlined area, and it makes it so much easier to put your dies away and know exactly how they fit onto that background piece. It's something small, but I love being able to put everything back where it goes. Okay, so I'm putting my card base together, and I have used the older farmhouse check background stamp to create this little craft panel with a circle in it that I'm putting foam tape on now, and I stamped that in Gathered Twigs ink. I have that blue paper that coordinates with my little birds and everything back behind there. And I use our deckled edge circle dies, you can see there, to cut that circle out. And it's going to kind of make a highlight for where my birds go. So there's that deckled edge circle. I'm also using our grapevine wreath die set to just add some layers and some texture right there into that little area where my birdhouse is going to go. So I've cut 2 of the grapevine wreaths in white, and those kind of layer and stagger together to make that look more thick and wreath-like. There's the little stand, and I'm kind of laying out all my dies to kind of eyeball where everything goes. This little bow is part of the grapevine wreath die set. There's also some little flowers that I've cut out in a darker blue to kind of all coordinate together with my little birds. So I'm getting those all out and ready to go there. And I'm kind of trying to decide where everything is going to nestle and sit before I start adhering it down. So now I have my little birdhouse stand there, and I've added my birdhouse, and now I can start adding all the things that are going to go kind of on the top part or above that circle. The birdhouse is nestled down into the circle onto that blue piece of paper, and now I'm going to layer my grapevine wreaths. I just added a little bit of our liquid adhesive, and I really like to hold that down in places so it can really connect to the cardstock that's underneath. And then I'm going to add a few more little spots of our Be Creative liquid adhesive. And I'm going to nestle that and lay that right on top. And I don't want it to exactly match up with the wreath that's underneath. Kind of want to offset it to make it look a little more natural, a little more thick. And I'm going to press that down and let all that paper connect. So I've added my little bow there to my grapevine wreath, and I'm taking a push pad and a stylus to those little flowers and rolling that stylus around on the paper just to give that a little bit of dimension so they're not flat on my wreath. It helps those to kind of stick up and look a little more like natural little daisies or flowers. I'm placing my little birds with my tweezers and liquid adhesive, and then I'm going to use the liquid adhesive to place those little flowers in the top right hand corner of my wreath. Now, once I get all of these done and placed and stuck down, I then need to worry about my sentiment. I always do this. I wait to the last minute and want to figure out what to do with my sentiment. And so I took the pad or the mat out of my MISTI. I put my whole card, because it does have foam tape and dimension, and I stamped that high tweet heart down onto the top of my card. So this worked and it was perfect. You could do this. You could use the coordinating dies that go with those sentiments, but that worked perfect, just taking the mat out of my MISTI and then adding that sentiment with some black ink. Now here's a close-up look of the finished card. Mistakes and all there on the little birdie's wing, but you can see I've used the brand new little birdies with some of our older product, added some of our beautiful adhesive gems, and this card is ready to go. I hope you've enjoyed sneak peek day 1 of our spring release, arriving at honeybeestamps.com on February the 22nd.